Hey guys, look at a nice little stool I found in a rubbish. No, I didn't. These didn't come with it. Those are mine. They're just laying on there. A little coffin hickey back on there. I don't know if you could see the. I know it's a little dark in there, guys. I got the door closed. I got a little crossbones on there. And what I did too is I used. I put super sheen on this to make it shiny. You'll be able to see once the light's on there. If I ever get the bike out. It's still cold outside. This is Sunday. It's like 32 degrees outside. Now, next week, it's supposed to actually go up to 80 degrees on Wednesday. So I have the GoPro charging up. When I get this out, I will do a ride video. We'll see how these brakes are working. And I'll probably inspect the motorcycle tomorrow. You know, I'll inspect those clips that are in back of the rotors. Make sure they're all in, because I like to visually inspect those. My tires are good. I had to add maybe a couple pounds of air to the tires. The tires are doing real good. I'm real proud of mounting those tires myself. I mean, they don't lose any air. Excuse me. The front tire, I keep it 36 pounds, and I keep the rear tire at either 32 pounds or the same, 36 pounds. You could even. I know some guys that have a rigid where they let air out. They bring the rear tire down like 25 pounds, and that makes it a little bit more of a spongy ride. But I want to talk about a couple things. First of all, you guys got to hear about my property tax. Excuse me, let me clear my throat. It just ate. Then I'll talk about these. I just paid my school tax off. Okay, I paid my school tax off probably. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. My school tax alone is $3,700 a year. Okay. It's like $36.80. I call it $3,700. It's like $36.80, $36.95, and it constantly goes up. Paid that off. All right. As soon as you pay that off, bam, your county taxes come in. County taxes are 500 and I think they're 545 something. 545 plus change. And they have to be paid by March 31st, or they're a little more. They're like 575. So I paid those off. I paid them off on March 31st. You know, naturally, if you pay them online, they charge you $3 to do that, because there's a company out of state that processes that. All right, now you guys follow me? I paid my school tax off. They're like $36.95. $3,695. I paid off my county tax. They're $545. Now the school tax, they just sent me in another bill today. They send you in what's called the preschool tax. I'm not kidding you. They send you in a preschool tax, not preschool. Not like preschool, like where the little 2-year-olds go. I'm not talking about that. This is a pre-tax for school tax. This is I think it's like I just looked at it and I forgot. I think it's like $539. Or no, I might be mistaken. I think it's $479. Yeah, I think it's 400. It's either 489 or 479. That's got to be paid before July 31st, or of course it's more. Then, as soon as you pay that off, the pre-tax school tax, as soon as you pay that off, then your school tax starts again. So you're constantly paying taxes for your property in Allegheny County. You're constantly paying. You know, and I don't know how the elderly are doing it. I do not know how the elderly are paying these. Probably what they're doing is they're probably financing their house. You know, they have that new financing feature where they could take money out on their house. It's a mortgage is what it is. You know, another thing I want to talk about is these school shootings. You know, all these kids right now, all these young kids, they're growing up with fear. And I grew up with fear, so I could tell you what it did to me to this day. I grew up with fear because I went to a bad grade school where I was beat up. I was severely bullied every single day, from kindergarten to the end of my 8th grade. All right, the kids that bullied me, there was like 5 of them, and and yeah, I did fight back, and I got my nose broken when I fought back. But they would wait for me going to school. All right, they'd bully me going to the school. They would bully me in the school. They would bully me coming out of the school. And if I would go home, they would find me and bully me on my way home. And I lived maybe 2 blocks away from the school, because back then we had no busing. That didn't exist. We had to walk to the school. But no matter what kind of weather, you walked. You know, and I used to be so terrified to go to school. And I used to be so terrified to walk home. I used to sneak out of like the side doors of the school that nobody knew about but me. And I'd open the door, okay, as close as clear as no one, and I'd go around like the side. I'd come out the side, and there they were. There they were. Or if I'd go out through the front entrance, they were waiting for me. So, you know, to make a long story short, guys, I grew up with fear. And what it does to you is it makes you severely non-social. It makes you afraid of people. No matter how, you could make yourself into a bodybuilder and you're going to still be scared of people. You're going to be afraid of their responses. You're going to be afraid to say anything to them. You're going to be weary of people. You're going to be afraid of people. You're going to be cautious of people. And that's how all these kids today are going to be, because they're growing up with fear from these school shootings. And they're going to all be like this. So what's going to happen is the United States of America is going to be worse in the future. It's not going to get better. I keep on telling all y'all, it's not going to get better. It's going to just get worse. And this has a lot to do with this. All these little kids going to school, they're going to be extremely cautious of anybody they come across. They're going to be very distant, very unfriendly, because they're going to be scared of anybody and everybody. So the circles are going to get real tight. The circles are going to close. If you're not in their circle, you are out. So like I told all y'all before, it's going to get worse. The social problem in this country is going to get a lot worse. It won't get better for at least a good 80, 90 years. I'll give you an example. What used to happen back in Old West doesn't happen anymore. Why? Because all those people died off. Those generations died off. And in order for this country to hear the change, these generations that are here now have to die off. So nothing's going to change until they die off. So it's like I said, it's going to be a good 80, 90 years before anything gets any better. So don't expect anything to get any better here for a long time. You know, that's why I believe in the only place to live is a small town, possibly the country. You live in a city, you better pack your lunch, because it's going to be a tough life. It's going to be super bad. But as for the motorcycle, no, I haven't got the motorcycle out yet. I think the last time I rode it around the neighborhood here, and that's when I found out I didn't have any brakes, my front brake was real bad, and I think that was like 3 weeks ago. Now I should be able to get this out next week. You know, from what I could tell, it's ready to go. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, somebody brought to my attention that the EHC cannot be, or it shouldn't be, bolted down inside that electronics cover. There's like you have your outer housing of the electronics cover, battery box. Then you have like an inner frame, and that's where all that stuff goes on. The EHC on my bike has to be bolted to that. And that's in the Bigdog manual. It has to be bolted to that, but it should not, the fasteners should not be torqued any more than 15 inch-pounds. I'm going to put I think there's like 5 or 6 pages. I took pictures of the pages right out of the Bigdog manual. I also indexed my Bigdog manual, because when you buy them, you pay. My Bigdog manual was it was over $300, and it's not indexed. So in order for you to find the chapters, you got to thumb through all the pages. So I indexed it with like little pieces of cardboard, and I put the index numbers on them. It actually turned out pretty good. So the following are 10-second still pics of the EHC chapter.